Day 36. Free to shake things up. Free to do things differently. Oh, it's like so important, I feel. Like, especially being the free bird that I am, it's like I can't keep doing things and like being stuck in my routines, being stuck in the same way of doing things. It's like, oh, it feels so good to change things up. And so it's so funny because it's like the mind wants to have its like little boxed ideas and like little boxed routines of like how it's always done things, thinking that things are going to change by staying in the same routine. And yeah, because I've been feeling this huge pull from within, like this deep pull to create something. And it's like, it wants to be birthed. Like it wants to be birthed now. But what I was noticing is like doing things the old way that I was doing things of like, okay, like staying at home and like focusing and like trying to work. It just like, it wasn't happening. There were all of these challenges, there were all of these blocks. And, you know, it was perfect because it like started to bring up all of the things that were getting in my way of creation. Like, but my friend like called me and I like had this, I had this breakdown the other day, which I shared about. And it was like, she's like, come on a little getaway with me. Like, let's just get away. Let's like go to the ocean and like go to Korea, like Japantown, and like go to the spa and sauna. And like that part of me was like, no, I need to birth this project or this creation now. Thinking like my mind thinks that it's going to create it or it's going to like produce it by like staying at home and doing it the old way. And I realized that and I caught that thought and I was like, that's just a thought. That's just an old belief pattern. Does it feel good? Does it actually feel good? And I was like, no. Okay. And then I was like, okay, fuck it. Like, I'm going to go on this trip. So I said, yes. Like, and we're leaving tomorrow. I was like, okay, fine. And it's seriously like the best thing that I could have done because by changing up, by shaking things up, by doing things differently, so for me it was like, because I was staying at home and trying to focus, it was like I shook things up and I went to a spa and like relaxed all day. And because I was in the spa all day, I think it's like finally I was able to like relax and there was like all this space and then all this inspiration came. And at the end of the spa, I was like, I got out my notebook and I got out my pen and I just started writing. And all of this inspiration and ideas came for what I could create and like how to make that happen. And it came from a space of joy, of creativity, of flow. It's not from like this, okay, how am I going to figure this out and like get from point A to point B? Like, no, there was like this space and this like fun and this like playful spirit of just like allowing things to be exactly as they are. And like from that space, then all of these ideas started to stream through. And then it was even like coming here, like, and just being in nature. I mean, freaking look at this, like, look at this coastline, and today it's like I did my meditation, just like looking at the ocean. And then like after that, I just like felt into the vision and allowed myself to freeform write. And I set like a timer and I just freeform wrote like, and all these ideas are coming through. Like, and it's not from like trying to do it. It's for just doing it for the love of it. Just doing it for the love of it. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you can't move forward, try to shake things up, try to do things differently. Maybe you are traveling, maybe you are in nature every day and something's not working. Maybe you need to focus, maybe you need to go and like do something else. So I'm not saying you have to like go on trips or like anything like that. Just change up your routine. If you're working from home every day, like go to a coffee shop. Like that really helped me one day, I was working at home every day. And so then I went to a coffee shop and just drinking a coffee, like being in that atmosphere, I like got so much done and it was so much fun. If you spend all your time indoors, try to go outdoors. If you're outdoors a lot, try to stay indoors. Just shake things up and do things differently. If you don't work out, see what it's like to like go for a run or go on Groupon and find like a group class or like just shake things up and do something different. It changes, like it shakes up the brain, it shakes up the mind. It gives space for creativity. It gives space for flow. Like, and it's so much fun. Like, the mind's terrified of shaking things up. It doesn't want to do things differently. Like, it wants to stay and it's like what it knows and in its like little controlled mindset. And it's like, whoa, actually, the more I just surrender and have fun and like jump into new things and explore, like so much more comes through. So much more comes through. Oh, it's so good. And even like yesterday I was like, I didn't make a video yesterday, so I'm gonna make 2 today, you know? And that was even a way for me to shake things up, because I was like, okay, I have to do this every day. And then I was like, you know what? Yesterday I was like, by the time we got back to the hostel, like I was really tired. And then it was like, you know, I saw that perfectionist in me of like, you have to make the video because like you made a commitment. And then it was like, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not follow through exactly like that, you know, because that was my way of doing things. I'm such a perfectionist. I have to get things done. And it's like, okay, like, would it be okay if I just made a video early in the morning and then another one later in the day? And I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. Like that actually feels good. And now I'm like, oh, this video has way more energy and like, you know, like a desire to want to make this video. Like, you know, it's just like, oh, it's so good to shake things up and not like be so tight-assed. Like, I feel like that's like what I want to bring out into the world is like help people get the stick out of their assholes and like just have fun. Have fun and create like from a new space. Like, I think we're so used to like this mindset of like, I gotta work hard and stress hard to get things done. And it's like, does that feel good? Does that feel good? I was like, no, like that does not feel good. So how can you shake things up? How can you start to loosen up? How can you get out of your box? You know, and sometimes we don't even know that we're in a box. So like start to get inspiration from the people around you. You know, like one of my friends like saw me pole dancing, was like, she started to do it too. And she's like, oh my God, I love this. You know, get inspiration from other people. You get to see like what others are doing. Or maybe you're like, what is nobody doing that I could do? What is nobody doing that I could do? And like, that's exciting too. What are some other ways that you could shake it up? For me, the writing really helps too. Like just get out a piece of paper and a pen and like just start writing everything. Like just purge it all out or jump it out, shake out the body, like do some breathing exercises like breath of fire, you know, things like that. Do a crazy workout class. You know, treat yourself, like take yourself out on like a date or like, you know, go in nature, like just shake things up, whatever that is for you. Do the total opposite. I remember that was like really huge for me because I was a yoga teacher for many years and just was religiously doing yoga like once or twice a day. And I was like, this is it. And like one day I like stopped it. I was like, I just went for a run, you know, and I took like a boxing class and it was like, oh my God, like boxing is so much fun. And it's like, oh, like if, you know, it's like when the mind's like, no, this is the way and the only way. It's like, wait, no, like there's other ways too. What feels good moment to moment, you know, and the same breath, like, you know, it is really good to set a declaration of like, okay, I'm going to do yoga for 40 days, or I'm going to meditate for 40 days, or I'm going to do this for 40 days. You know, those kinds of strong determinations are good too, but also how within that structure, within that like 40 days, it's like, how can you shake things up within that, you know? So it's like, even like with my videos, I'm like, okay, like this is what I was doing for so long. And I was like sharing my emotions and sharing that. I was like, oh, now it feels like kind of a shift. Like how, you know, and I was like, oh, like now I feel like, oh, like there's so much inspiration coming through that I want to share now. I was like, okay, let me go with that. And then it's like, okay, it's like just staying so open to keep changing and keep evolving. I feel like that's what we're here to do, is to live life fully. We're not here to like born and like do things for the same things. And it's like, if there's pressure or contraction or you're suffering or like there's any kind of pain in your life, it's asking you to change things up, to shake things up. So allow yourself to do that. Like allow yourself, instead of like, oh, woe is me, like why is this happening? It's like, no, what is this asking me to shake up? Something's not working. Let me try something different. Get creative. Be like a kid. Start to investigate. What isn't working? Write it down and write down and do like a free form writing. Like, what is this? Like, why is there so much pain around this? What am I believing to be true? What if I were to step out of that? Raphael is like doing this amazing 21 day, and I love how she talks about the two sides of the coin. Maybe you see pain on one side. What's the other side of the coin? Can you step out, get some distance from your pain or your problems or what's not working, your stuck points, and start to see the bigger picture? What's on the other side of the coin? Which one feels more in alignment? Why am I holding so tightly to this way? Am I willing to let it go? How do I want to feel? Could I feel that right now? Could I feel that right now? What would that feel like? It's like, oh my God, my mind's holding so tightly. I don't want to let go. I don't want to feel good. I was like, oh, wow, interesting. Why am I feeling like that? Whoa, why am I holding so tightly to this character, to this identity? What if I were to get some space and start to watch this? How could things shift? What could I shake up? How could I do things differently? Getting creative, having fun, playing. Allowing yourself to just, like, I push record and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going all over the place. Does this even make sense? I'm like watching people. I'm like, oh my God, this person's so put together with their thought forms. And like, I was like, oh, I'm so inspired to like get more like to make more sense. I'm like, wait, I'm kind of having fun. But yet there's an intention to get more clear with what I'm sharing. But I'm just starting with where I am now and like loving myself. Okay, Callie, you're kind of all over the place, but it's okay. It's okay. My friend just told me Rome wasn't built in a day, even though I want it to be. But that's the perfectionist in me. He's like, okay, having fun along the journey. It's not about the destination. How can I feel so whole and complete, so fulfilled right here, right now? And that'll change the course of everything. Making that my number one priority. Love you guys.